Hello, welcome to Local Anaesthetic Podcast, the most trusted name in local news. My name is Alex, and joining us, as always, via Skype, is Rob. How you doing there, Rob? Good to see you.
Hello, folks. Yeah, good to see you too. I'm not too bad. Did you ask? I don't know, but I'll tell you anyway.
No, I didn't. We're not interested in how you are, Rob. This is episode 276 now, would you believe, as we get ever more closer to that milestone, and we really are going to have to give some thought, Rob. I think when we've got about 15 episodes left, we need to actually start planning. It has to be a celebration of some sort. We have to do something. I don't know what. We'll really give it some thought. But
I just like the idea that we go out and about. I mean, now we have the microphones. I mean, I know they are slightly cumbersome, but it'd be nice if we could go on a day trip and just carry them around.
They are cumbersome. We might have to, we'd have to think about exactly how we would do that. But we could record from a different location, definitely.
Yeah. I think that's a nice idea. I mean, I'm not sure from the listener's perspective whether that would add any, any flavour to the episode. But I suppose if there's
we could be saying now that we're recording from anywhere in the world, Rob. How would they know?
That's true. Yeah, I'm on the moon, for example.
Yes. Okay, Rob, shall we crack on? I feel like we've got a lot to get on with this week, unless you have any news, of course, to kick us off with.
Not that I'm aware of. No, it's been relatively quiet. Yeah, I say quiet. People have obviously been posting stories, which we always appreciate. But in terms of actual news, no, I don't think so.
Okay, well, let's crack on then, Rob, here, because I'm going to get us straight off with some animal-related news, which we all know our local anaesthetic listeners love, Rob. And this is from the news shop, but I do have local news stories this week from local papers.
Wow.
Out of some, anyway. And this is by Connor Shields, who is the Bexley and Dartford reporter. And did you know, Rob, that in southeast London, animal theft cases have dropped by half in 2 years? More than half in 2 years, which is progress of a sort.
But is that not because all the cats have been killed, so there's less animals to steal?
That could be part of it. More than 440 precious pets have been reported stolen from their homes across southeast London in the past 5 years, an analysis has revealed. That is a lot, isn't it? That's about, I can't work it out exactly, but it's about 80 animals a year being stolen. And this is figures from the Metropolitan Police, and I didn't know that they kept a check on this. Figures from the Metropolitan Police have shown that 443 animals, ranging from domestic dogs and cats all the way to reptiles and insects, have been purposely led astray between April 2014 and 2019. Now, my question is, who the fuck is stealing an insect?
So, also, when they say purposely led astray, does that mean someone's been luring them out of the house?
Yeah, how do you lure? I think it's really bad phrasing from this journalist. I mean, like a burglar tapping on the side of a window, encouraging a spider and other insects to somehow open that window and come out with it. Like they make it sound like these sort of animal nappers are Peter Pan, Rob.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, I don't know what would entice what insects do people keep? A stick insect, yeah, or a vole. I mean, a vole is a rodent, Alex. It's not an insect.
No, I know, but these are still the kind of things that are being stolen. But you're right. What would entice a stick insect? Something sticky, maybe, to stick onto.
Yeah, a leaf. But I mean, I don't think. So. Okay. I don't know how you. Anyway, let's not think too much about that.
You leave a trail, Rob.
Well, so just like you're just shoving it through the letterbox, maybe, and then just letting it drip down the side of the door, and then.
But Rob, you haven't answered my question. Who would want to steal an insect?
Perverts, Alex. Perverts.
You were going to say something.
Oh no, I was just thinking, and I've got nothing against stick insects. I know people do keep them as pets, but I don't think an insect has a stick insect doesn't have the mental capacity to understand that someone is trying to entice it out.
I enjoy that. What did you just used a phrase I enjoyed, but I can't remember what it was.
Mental capacity?
Yes, that was it.
Yeah,
right. Pet poachers in Greenwich were mainly after dogs, Rob, with 51 pooches taken out of 119 animals reported stolen to police. Lewisham saw similar behaviour, with dogs topping the list, as 56 were taken during the same time frame. 103 animals were reported as stolen altogether within the borough. Bexley had the lowest number of animals stolen, with only 47. Anyway, this story's getting boring now. The point is, we don't know why there was a drop in crimes. But you're saying you think it's because of all the animals that were murdered during the cats.
Quite possibly. And also, maybe people are a bit more conscientious. Maybe they are keeping their animals and their stick insects indoors. No one's taking out their stick insect for a walk, or no one's letting their tarantula go for its morning constitutional. Who knows, Alex?
Right. Well, on to a different story, but animal themed in some ways, nevertheless. This is from the Times, Rob, the Times of London, and it's by Kate Gibbons from June the 1st. I like this story. Shoppers attack vegans at Sheffield Meat Market.
Shoppers attack vegans?
Yes, Rob. Butchers and shoppers turned on vegan activists in a busy shopping centre when tempers flared during a sit-in protest. Police, Rob, were called after a blind vegan campaigner was knocked to the ground during the confrontation at Moor Market in Sheffield. And there's a picture.
That seems a bit harsh.
There's a picture of a man with sort of dark sunglasses. He's blind, carrying one of those sort of the assistive stick things, just on the floor with a sort of crowd around him, Rob.
The good thing is, if he suffered any bruising, there's enough raw meat there to really bring that out.
The animal rights campaigners had tried to stage a demonstration outside the meat stalls, sitting on the floor in a line. The group, known as Direct Action Yorkshire, is an offshoot of an international campaign to promote veganism. So they're a splinter group, Rob. Direct Action Yorkshire. I enjoy that name.
Do you not remember we had another story about a vegan group? Oh, that's right. Wasn't it the ones that broke into a farm and that they it was something to do with a pig. What do they do? Did they distress a pig or something?
They let out, didn't they? They broke into a farm and they let out. I thought they let out loads of. Oh, that was it. Yeah, they let out some pigs, but there was a stampede, and the pigs ended up getting killed or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, that's it.
The protesters surrounded themselves with police-style tape and filmed the confrontation. Shoppers who insisted that they were defending local businesses soon challenged the vegans. In the video, the blind activist can be seen tumbling to the ground. The man, who was wearing a 100% vegan t-shirt and carrying a white stick, is shown struggling to get back on his feet. Sorry, isn't a cotton t-shirt 100% vegan? Isn't it? Or am I wrong?
I had that same thought. I don't know. I assume it would be.
A police investigation was closed after the CCTV evidence was examined. The disturbance, Rob, began last Saturday when market customers rallied round to challenge the vegan group. In the video, one man tells the protesters, "The state of you, putting all these people out of a job, you're a disgrace." Another person shouted, "Meat is not murder." An elderly man waved a sale sign for sirloin steaks at the protesters, while another person shouted... Can I say, it's a beautiful phrase that. An elderly man waved a sale sign for sirloin steak. The alliteration in that is brilliant. Can I just say, a sale sign for sirloin steak? It's a very nice episode title. But wait, yes. Rob. For he's waving this sign, while another person shouted at the protesters, "Want to see my meatballs?"
Okay.
So these are butchers, these are meat sellers, and he's shouting out, "Want to see my meatballs?" But of course, I think he's playing on the double entendre there, Rob.
Unless he was going to literally dangle his testicles in their face.
Yeah, one market customer waved a placard at the camera, saying to the vegans, "Sorry we killed the cow, but it was eating your dinner." Clever, Rob.
Yeah, I think clever's pushing it.
Well, cows eat grass, Rob, and vegans
I get
eat
what
grass.
they were saying. Yeah, apparently so. Yeah.
I'm not even sure vegans do eat grass, really, do they? Maybe some of them do.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
A protester shouted back, "They are sentient beings just like us. They deserve to be safe and free from harm just like us. They have a capacity to experience grief or joy just like us." It doesn't really have much of a ring to it. It's a bit long-winded.
Yeah, they need a better chant.
Well, it continued, "So why make them suffer? They deserve to be happy and healthy just like us, just like our beloved pets. Why love one and not another?" And I think why love one and not another because I'm not sure cat tastes as good as chicken.
I mean, have you ever tried it, to be fair?
I haven't. There's not
a lot of meat on a cat, to be fair.
It depends, Rob.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's my cat Moo, then there's quite a lot of meat on her.
Yeah, you're fattening her up for Christmas. That's what you told me.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to be a lean Christmas, not for the cat.
The crowd jeered at the demonstrators as a market worker put an arm around an activist's shoulders and a person shouted, "Get a job!"
Lovely stuff.
The protest was outside Mixed Grade A Meats, but it's understood that staff from the store were not involved. At least 6 butchers operate in the market, Rob, which is known for its high-quality produce. Belinda White, 48, a protester, said that group members had been shaken by the response. There's a long strip of butchers at the Moor Market, so it's a really good place to do a demonstration, she said. The whole point is to go to places that normalise abuse, promotion, and the sale of beings. Can I just say, normalising abuse, promotion, and the sale of beings is another very good episode title.
It is. I like that. Can I just go back to what you said before? Did you say mixed or mix grade A meats?
Mick, as in, short for Michael. Mixed Grade A Meats, which is a beautiful shop name.
It is. I got confused that you said mixed grade A mince. They're just putting beef and chicken. Basically, just throwing any old chicken in there, but ultimately it's mince. That's all you need to worry about.
Yeah. Now, Rob, I don't know what to do because on this Times article there were 878 comments.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to just try and read a few at random. John Sturzaker says, "It clearly isn't enough to be veggie these days. We must be vegan. Why are these selfish individuals with a minority view allowed to prevent lawful trading? I'm sick and tired of minorities assuming that they have a majority view. I love vegans. It means more meat for me."
What a sympathetic comment.
Joseph G says he slipped on a leaf of lettuce. Vegetables can kill too. That's terrible. Terrible. Luke Watts Aspin said, "Shouldn't the headline here read, 'Selfish militant vegan idiots once more disrupt people going about their daily lives and try to impose their lifestyle choices on others'?" Can I just say, "Selfish militant vegan idiots" is a very good episode title.
I got that.
As for that bloke being blind, come on. It's all a pre-planned publicity stunt with cameras and cell phones at the ready, and the Times walks straight into the trap by reporting the people simply trying to do some shopping attacked the arrogant veg munchers.
Again, an amazing episode title.
I have to say, the commenters on the Times do have a very good turn of phrase, Rob.
Yeah, they do.
And Jim Thompson just simply says, "Let them eat kale," which I like, which is a play on "Let them eat cake," Rob.
Which obviously was said by Marie Antoinette, and interesting fact, apparently she never said it.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
What did she say then? Let them have biscuits.
Eat some grass, peasants.
Yeah. I mean, did she say something along that spirit? That's the point. Like, fuck the poor.
I don't. I suspect it may be. Well, it wouldn't be like that because obviously it would have been in French.
Of course. Okay, Rob. Last story here from the News Shopper again. It's by Connor Shields. Again, she's been a busy lady. I think she's taken over the small, slightly comical news story bit from who was the guy who used to do it?
Oh,
didn't we hear recently he'd gone on to bigger and better
Green?
Things? Patrick Grafton Green, yeah.
I'm sure he was reporting from the Evening Standard.
That's it. If that can be called Better Things. Isn't the Evening Standard run by George Osborne?
Yeah, he's the editor, yeah.
Anyway, this is a great story, Rob. This is the headline. "Vile, disgusting pig. Malicious message sent to the Woodman pub in Dartford."
Right.
A former landlord of a Dartford boozer has described her shock after a vile and malicious threatening message was shoved through a letterbox on their last day of trading. Not a euphemism, by the way. Tony Gillam, who ran the Woodman pub in East Hill for more than 5 years, was stunned after opening the mysterious letter to discover a worryingly venomous message printed on the front of a Moonpig card in bright graphic fonts. Now, Rob, I am looking at the mood. Yeah?
So Moonpig's quality control was quite happy to let this pass.
Yeah, well, you've anticipated much of the article. So I'm looking at the front of the card, which says, this is the lady's name is Tony with an I.
Okay.
And the front of the card simply says, "Tony, you are dead to us," in massive block capitals. And inside the card, it simply says, "Don't fucking come back, bitch," which is printed on one side, with the other side reading, "Vile, disgusting pig."
Are you joking?
No.
That's
It's obscene. Speaking to New Shopper, Miss Gillam, who called time on her popular pub on May 25th, said that although the disturbing greetings card did upset her, she was determined not to let it ruin their final bash that night. It was pretty shocking, to be honest, and I wouldn't be human if I said it didn't get to me, but we were determined not to let it ruin the last day. Miss Gillam, who believes that a disgruntled former customer may be behind the cowardly act, explained that she is no stranger to abuse during her line of work, but this incident had severely crossed the line. We were going to dismiss it completely because as landlords we endured Facebook abuse on a regular basis. It comes with the territory. We've barred a handful of people during our time here, and only one of those wasn't for drugs. You do feel very isolated sometimes because of it. You think that you're such a hero by directing abuse at a single woman who can't do anything about it, but in the end you're effectively bullying a single female on her own. I like that point. Speaking on the recent incident, Miss Gillam said she was shocked that Moonpig allowed the card to be sent and questioned whether or not messages go through checks before being posted. Now, I'm assuming based on this, Rob, that they go through no checks whatsoever. And come on, who really thought somebody was checking the cards?
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. It goes back to Meatface last week, where they thought there was some sort of quality control for 91p sausages.
Yeah. Does this mean that we could send cards to Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson via Moonpig, sort of with, really quite brutal insults on them, and just get away with it?
That's why we're friends, Alex. Because that's exactly where I went as well.
But where do you think the line is for Moonpig? Because I don't think it's actually being checked, so therefore, presumably there is no bar. If it is being checked and somebody looked at that and went, yeah, that'll go through, where's the line?
I mean, if they allow swearing, I think that any sort of... I mean, it would imply that you could literally say anything. I mean, you would hope that they have some sort of filter or some sort of...
Oh, you mean on the computer algorithm? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, a Moonpig spokesman said... and I didn't even know Moonpig had a spokesman, so presumably it's just somebody in the office who was given the job for that day.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine my job is Moonpig spokesman. Has a lot of work to do. I mean...
No, I can't imagine so. And I'm surprised, as you rightly say, I thought maybe it was just a computer linked to like a printer.
He said...
They've just cut out all staff. It's completely mechanised.
He said, at Moonpig, we do implement process to make sure hate speech and malicious content is spotted and removed. It's horrible to hear that something slipped through the net this time, and we'll be working closely with the police should a request come through to investigate further. We'd also like to take the opportunity to apologise on behalf of us here at Moonpig to the victim, and we will support them through the process. Can I just say, what does that mean? They haven't offered her anything. What does "we're going to support you through the process" mean? You're a card company. What are you going to do?
A sorry card. it'll be a personalised sorry card. Dear Tony, we're sorry for the abuse that you received via Moonpig. Have a voucher for a free card.
Best wishes in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, you got some stories for us there.
Yeah, so my first story this week, I should say, is from the Somerset Live website. It's by Sam Forrester from the 3rd of June. So what's that, yesterday? So nice and topical. The headline: Wells man gets a bit emotional as he finally sells 30-ton Soviet tank, which he's had since 1993.
Sorry, 30-ton... Sorry. So this is a life-size Soviet tank?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's a...
Does this man live in the UK?
Yeah, he lives in Somerset.
How the fuck did he get it here?
Yeah, it doesn't say.
What do you mean it doesn't say? How do you procure a Soviet tank?
Well, you obviously buy it and then...
Well, he's not buying it off eBay, is he? And he's not buying it at a flea market. How the hell did he get it over here? Who the hell is transport? How do you transport tanks over?
I think
know. How do you aircraft carrier, wouldn't it be?
No. You'd have to ship them. So it does say that he makes regular trips over to the Ukraine, and he's also bought other pieces of Russian military hardware.
Right. Yeah.
Is this man a spy? I just think about it. Is this what this is? It's quite possible. Anyway, a man who's had a Soviet tank parked on his Somerset property for 25 years has finally bid.
Parked on his... Is it just in the front garden? That would really menace the neighbours, wouldn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant.
The Reds are coming.
Well, I mean, it's been there for 25 years, so I think they already know that.
Right.
Has finally bid a fond farewell to a 30-ton piece of military hardware.
Did he check before he sold it? Because I just hope that somebody checked whether or not George Galloway was inside.
Yeah, that's a very good. I mean,
George Galloway is quite litigious, and
Is
obviously
he?
everything we said. Well, yeah, well, because
won't
what
hear
he's going to do, what he's suing Talksport, he's taking them to court. So, everything we were saying, George, was in the name. Just I was once in the Whiteley Centre in Bayswater when I used to live in Bayswater. The Whiteley Centre has now been closed down, and I bought a patisserie from a stand, and George Galloway was next to me buying a Danish or something like that, and he was wearing the big trench coat and the hat that he likes to wear.
yeah, and obviously he was just trying to pay rubles, but they wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
he has his tank parked outside. I think it's okay to allege that he's bought a tank, isn't it? I don't think that's too
I've no idea.
contentious.
I've no idea. We'll consult the legal team at Local Anaesthetic, at the head office, and we'll check with them, Rob.
Fine, okay. So, while most of us would be content with a garden gnome or a fishing pond in our garden, Hayden
I wouldn't
Davis,
be content with a garden gnome. If somebody gave me a garden gnome as a present, I'd think this is the shittest present ever given to me. No. And I'd throw it in that pond, Rob.
Alex,
if somebody gave me a tank, I'd think, what the fuck am I going to do with this?
What if it was a garden gnome of Henri in an Arsenal kit?
No, I think that would look all kinds of wrong, Rob. I'm imagining it. I think
I'm pretty sure that exists.
I think it could look quite offensive, I think.
Well, maybe. I mean, it depends how you view it, but I'm sure I can imagine that does exist somewhere. Listeners, why don't you have a Google of that and let us know? But Hayden Davis of Wells Reclamation.
Any relation?
No, it's Davies. It's IES.
Yeah, like that's your name, but you hide it, but that's fine.
No, fine. Wells Reclamation has enjoyed looking out of his window to see the T30 parked outside. And the businessman hasn't exactly been rushing to get rid of it, with the Second World War beast having been sat on his drive since 1993.
But must say how he procured it in the first place.
I'm coming on to this. Like I said, I know he got it from. I don't know how he got it back from Russia. Anyway.
Oh, right, okay.
But the bittersweet occasion finally arrived for Mr. Davis when he agreed to sell the tank to a buyer from Northamptonshire. Oh, from a buyer, sorry. So I don't know where he got it from. Okay. He said, I woke up at 2 a.m. on the day of the sale. Nothing much disturbs me. So I wonder what the matter was. Then I realised I was suffering from grief.
He's grieving for the tank.
I didn't want it to go. I know it's a big boy too. Yeah.
Was this a tank wife?
I don't know about that. There is no mention of
wife. Because what's it called? The turret. What's it called?
What is it called?
What is it called?
Barrel?
Yeah, well, that long cylindrical thing from which it fires.
It must be a barrel, surely.
Yeah, I think it is the barrel of the. Well, yeah, like the barrel of.
Right.
No,
yeah.
but no, I don't know. What is it called?
The cannon?
What could I even put into Google to find that out? What's the long bit on a tank called?
Yeah, put that in.
Shall I do it? Okay, let's see what Google
says.
What's the long? It won't autocorrect this. What's the long bit on a tank? It's not even bringing up a suggestion.
Do you know what? This sounds like a question that a 5-year-old puts into Google.
I think it's just called the gun, the tank gun.
Yeah,
it's the main armament of a tank. Anyway, that tank gun, Rob.
Yeah.
That hole, I would think, would be more than large enough for him to insert himself into.
Yeah, I agree.
When celebrating the wedding night with the tank.
I agree, but I think you're going to have to stuff a lot of stuff in there to really get any sort of purchase from it. You're going to have to fill it with a lot of stuff. You're going to have to just shoving bits of, whatever you...
Paper mache.
Paper mache, yeah. Maybe
dog
fruits.
Food.
Apparently, grapefruits are quite good. So
sorry, Rob. I'm sorry. The image of a man shoving dog food into the opening of a tank gun in order to have sex with this wife, his tank wife, is quite an enduring image.
I think you can really elaborate on that. If he's in his wedding suit as well, surrounded by his wedding guests as he does this, that's even more... that's quite an image.
Bring out the Chappie. Chappie is a very cheap brand of dog food for anybody.
I don't think it still exists, Chappie.
Well, I've got... Really?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it in around recently. I mean, I've been looking, to be fair.
I have 2 cans of it a week. It's a cheap way to live, Rob.
Yeah, but you're not eating it. That's the problem.
No.
So I know it's
stuff it into a loo roll.
God. Let's just stop this conversation. I know it's a big boy's toy like boats or old cars, but you do get attached to them. They
Sorry,
become part of the family.
sorry. Collecting cars or boats, I don't think is comparable to a tank. Is the tank usable? Are you allowed to drive a tank in the UK? I don't think you are you?
Does it say that you could? Is it still in working order? I mean, obviously, I guess I can imagine that the cannon's been decommissioned. Does it say that she's working? No, I don't know. So I don't even know where she. I mean, I'm assuming you can still drive it. I don't know. I mean, there's a picture of it being loaded onto a low loader, so there's. Yeah, I think you can still drive it. But people do. People do buy tanks, and I think people.
Yeah, but you're not driving it to B&Q, are you? That's my point.
Well, no, possibly not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, is he? I'm just wondering if it's got a. Why am I looking to see whether it's got a registration plate? It hasn't.
Rob, that is the most ridiculous thing you've ever speculated. Of course, you cannot license a tank to drive on the road, dear DVLA. Stranger
things. I've just bought a new tank. Can I get it licensed, please? Yeah. She came to me after the breakup of the Soviet Union, having previously done her wartime stuff on the bitter cold Russian front. Mr. Davis said the T-34 have a crew of 4, and one of them, the driver, was often a woman. The Russians made them in enormous numbers, and they were renowned for their speed. The Germans had such respect for them that they requisitioned captured ones. Mr. Davis reached the rank of captain in the Royal Welsh Fusiliers and had particular interest in all things military. Oh, he does have a wife. He and his wife Margaret started Welsh Reclamation, which specialises in selling unusual items 35 years ago. Mr. Davis makes regular trips overseas to buy things including Cold War Russian jeeps from the Ukraine, but the tank held a special place in his heart.
What an interesting couple.
Yeah. I'd like to know what else is in that scrapyard.
Yeah, but you're right. Is he a spy? And we're only asking the question. We're not alleging anything. We're just asking.
Yeah. Just to finish, he said, my old warrior is gone. I mean, he's talking about the tank, not his wife. I hope she'll be happy in a new home and that they look after her. She was made in 1943 and she's feeling her age now.
The question is, Rob, did he clean out all the dog food before he sold it?
Just shove some gunpowder and just blow it out.
Yeah. Okay, Rob, you got another story for us there?
Of dog food and semen. Sorry. There's an image. Yes, I spotted another story of I have to say, of really high quality investigative journalism on the part of the Bristol Post.
Really?
Yeah, basically someone wrote into the Bristol Post claiming that they were writing a book that was inspired by Brexit.
Right.
And the book is available on Amazon to buy. Right. And claiming they lived in Bristol. Anyway, it turns out this same letter has been sent to numerous local newspapers around the country with the same name, with the same content, and they think it's what do they describe it to? Yeah, it's I'm trying to find where it was. They were stating that they believe it's some sort of fake news propaganda, but they can't identify where it's come from.
Russia.
So if anyone does want to find the
Russia,
stories,
Rob, presumably.
Well, yeah, she is Russian, ironically. So if anyone wants to find the story is, who is Veronica? Did she really write a book about Brexit? And why does she tell us she's living in a retail park?
Maybe she's living in that tank.
Maybe that's a new home. Who knows? Anyway, back to silly stories. Now, my next story is from the Great Yarmouth Mercury. From the
what is it? Sorry, is this a publication we haven't heard from before, Rob? The Great Yarmouth Mercury. I love it already.
Yeah, I think I came across it because it was also featured in the Eastern Daily Press. Who, by the way, I found out also have a podcast called Weird Norfolk. So if anyone wants any podcast recommendations, check that out.
Well, do you think they cover weird stories from the local area?
Yeah, it appears. Well, I think they cover sort of ghost stories and any sort of paranormal happenings.
Are you gonna link with them then? I would.
Yeah, it might be worth it actually. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I've only come across it today, so I've only discovered it. I haven't even listened to the podcast, but it could be worth a listen.
Yeah, we'll give them a shout out right now. Go and check out Weird Norfolk. Ask them to do the same. But they might really enjoy this podcast, Rob, because if we cover one type of story, it is weird stories, and have done for a very long time.
True. So this is from Daniel Hickey from the 3rd of June even. And the headline, why so stupid? Person rides bike around Great Yarmouth Boating Lake.
Eh?
Yeah. You heard me. A Great Yarmouth landmark built for boats has been broken into by a person on a bike. This week, a picture emerged on social media of someone riding a bike around the town's boating lake on Tuesday, May 28th, around 7 p.m.
Sorry, so let me just clarify for myself. What's wrong with riding a bike around a boating lake? Because I've got an image of just like a lake in a park, it's got a path around it, and I'm riding a bike around it. What's wrong with that?
He was riding through the lake.
Oh, but isn't the water too deep? Wouldn't he be submerged?
We'll come on to this.
Okay.
So the lake is currently closed to the public as its revamp enters the final stages, with thousands of cubic meters of water being pumped into the waterway in preparation for the return of rowing boats and pedalows. But the photo of a person riding a bike through the waterway on North Drive has provoked anger. What the hell is wrong with him? Said Sarah Halls. Jill Burton said, why so stupid? And then Veronica Langhorn commented, after all the work has been put into the waterway, you should really show some respect. Stupid idiots with nothing better to do. Hope police give them a good telling off.
It's not Veronica the Russian spy, is it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem to be. No, it's a different name. Although she may have many aliases.
Yeah.
Norfolk Police said that the incident has not been reported. The boating lake has been closed to the public for safety reasons since 2014, when the concrete basin was drained. And we will leave that story there.
Okay, Rob. Right. Well, before we get on to our listener story, I did have one story here that I did just want to comment on. This is from The Mirror. We have been saying for a long time we always have a story from The Mirror.
Yep,
if I weren't to do this, Rob, that would not be right. By Jessica Walford. From the 31st of May, Rob. Couple kicked off nudist campsite after defending man with morning glory.
Amazing, okay.
I don't think that means they defended him with an erect penis. I think they defended him when he had morning glory, if you see what I mean.
I'd assume it's much, yeah.
A Welsh couple, Rob, claim they have been kicked off a nudist campsite over complaints they were being watched by CCTV. Phil and Wendy Barrett claim they were booted from their renovated Woodpeckers in Wales site in Pentre Meyrick. They said they were removed after sticking up for a naturist camper who walked through the campsite with morning glory whilst in a dressing gown. They told Wales Online, so there's your local version I didn't bother to check,
nice.
This chap got disciplined for something when he was on a naturist site in December at 7 o'clock in the morning, all on his own. He went from his caravan to the toilet and back in the dark, and there was no damage caused, but they said they saw something unsuitable for the site, and they've been picking on him ever since. He was going to the toilet in his dressing gown as someone was streaming pictures of him at home. He didn't know he was being filmed. If the wind blew his dressing gown, that's not his fault. He just got out of bed. That's how I found out about the cameras. Now I've started sticking up for him, and they just kicked out me and my husband off the site.
Sorry, I'm slightly confused by this. So there was a man walking across the campsite with an erection.
Yeah, so his dressing gown blew open in the wind and he had an erection and he was apparently going to use the toilet. But somebody was filming him and live streaming it. And
Why?
she's since found out that they seem to all be being filmed. Let's go through the story. According to their website, Woodpeckers in Wales is a non-profit making site which is run and maintained by its members, for the enjoyment of visitors. That's an unfortunate choice of phrase when we're talking about erect penises, Rob.
Yeah, it really is.
Set in 5 acres of rural wooded countryside, facilities include, Rob, bowls, shuffleboard, and a covered solar-heated swimming pool with internal seating area. Now, can I just say, Rob, that bowls, shuffleboard, and a covered solar-heated swimming pool is a very good episode title.
It is, but they're the kind of... That's 3 activities I don't want to see naked people playing.
Guests can also relax on the extensive sunbathing lawns, minus the risk of tan lines. They put in cameras, and they've been watching people on the naturist site, said 59-year-old Wendy, who's been enjoying the site for 10 years. Now, that is dodgy, putting up cameras in a naturist site, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I know that obviously they're going to claim it's for the safety of the customers, but it's a bit suspect.
When I complained, I was told I was causing trouble. On Thursday, we had a letter for gross misconduct, and they've kicked us off the site, basically because we thought it wrong they were filming people. The cameras are watching people on the lawns and on the toilet blocks, watching people come in and out, and I said it was an invasion of privacy and against the law. They turned round and said they put them up for security reasons, but they didn't even tell us they put them up. I said it was wrong. I think that bit is wrong. If you're going to have cameras on a naturist site, I think you have to advertise it. Otherwise that is, well...
Yeah, otherwise you're making softcore porn.
Yeah. Wendy and Phil claim they then received a letter telling them they had 28 days to leave because of gross misconduct with no refund of their £800 annual fee. It meant they couldn't sell their caravan and had to swap theirs for one worth £2,000 on the same site instead. The letter we had said we had to get our static caravan off the site, which means we had to sell it, but they've only given us 28 days and won't let us on the site unless we're escorted. I'm devastated. It's disgusting. The pair say they're lawyers, who I wonder if the lawyers are also naked. That would be brilliant. The pair say their lawyers are now questioning the legality of the cameras, which were installed last autumn. Woodpeckers replied no comment when approached for comment by the Wales Online.
Can I just say,
Homer's
Alex,
dad
I don't
says,
think it's possible to engage in every possible service. I don't think every service available in this country has like a nudist equivalent.
A nudist equivalent.
Like a nudist fire brigade or...
Homer's dad says this guy is a legend, and the guy he's talking about is the guy with the dressing gown who had the erection. If he can walk outside in December at 7 a.m. with a Percy standing to attention, then he's a better man than I am. What I'll also say, Robin, I hope you'll appreciate what I mean when I say this, is if he can go to the toilet with an erection, he's a better man than I am.
Absolutely. Maybe that's why he was being filmed, because they were just impressed.
Mother of Cat says, was there any need to post this story? And Truthfulness says, if you don't like the Mirror, why'd you read it? Jack Nailoff says, Woodpeckers, an appropriate choice for the camp's name, it seems, which I hadn't really noticed, but is very true.
Yeah.
And Gerrit Darnia just says, men with no girlfriend find it hard in the mornings.
That's a lazy pun.
Yes. Okay, Rob. It is now time, surely, after all this hullabaloo, really, about nothing, for our listener story of the week. And who's it from this week?
So this week it's from Kyber.
Now, Kyber, well done. What we need to say to listeners who listen to this, who hear the familiar names coming up in each and every week, we pick out the best story that's sent every week. So we can't help it if Kyber this week has found the best story again. But this guy tries hard, Rob. He's like the Man City. He's like the Man City, isn't he? Him and Steve, really. The Man City and Liverpool. I'm not saying which one is which, but you know they're really going punch for punch to submit these stories recently, because we've had a lot from them.
Yeah, and I have to say, it's another winner. It's a great story.
Where's it from this time? Because he's been finding stories from various exotic locations.
I mean, this isn't exotic, unfortunately. And I would say this... I was debating on the tube home whether this is a local news website. Would you say the Evening Standard is a local newspaper?
It's local to London.
Yeah, I'd say it probably is. So this is from the Evening Standard, which apparently has the website of the year, according to their page.
Right. I don't know that's what the Sun said.
Yeah, I know.
Do you remember last week? You can't all just put it on your banner. Who said that? If you said it, it doesn't count. Rob, Local Anaesthetic is the podcast of the year. Should we just put that now on our banner? Podcast of the year. Who's going to challenge it?
I mean, the fact that, actually, we could just put it on there. No one's going to challenge it.
Do you know what? That would really drive up ratings. Massively. You just stick it on there. We awarded it to ourselves.
I mean, we could just launch another podcast just called Podcast of the Year and just see what happens.
Right, Rob, that is not a bad idea. Listeners, watch out, because we've been thinking about doing another podcast for a while. Podcast of the Year. Yeah.
And I think people would be curious to find out what it is. And so would we, because all I've got is the name. Anyway.
Yeah, okay, that's ours. We're going to go with it.
So the story is from 6 days ago, so yes, from last week. Anyway, it's by Harriet Brewis. So the headline of the story: suspected unexploded bomb found on the bank of the Thames turns out to be giant Christmas bauble.
That is brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So, police say a suspected unexploded bomb found on the bank of the Thames was actually a giant glittering Christmas bauble.
How do you mistake a giant glittering Christmas bauble for a bomb?
Well, you've seen like the old, like a depth charge. They're round, they're obviously large, round, sea mines.
Yeah, but they don't glitter.
No, but I can imagine if you saw it bobbing up and down, because I'm assuming this thing is hollow. If you saw it bobbing up and down in the Thames, and it wasn't,
but wouldn't that be the giveaway? Wouldn't that be the giveaway? A bomb doesn't bob, does it?
Yeah, it does. That's the whole point. Yeah,
does it?
The ones that during the Second World War did exactly that.
Oh.
The item was mistaken for an explosive when it washed up near Wapping, East London. Tower Hamlets Police tweeted that officers had been called to the scene to investigate a possible unexploded device that had been washed up on the shore. But they added, luckily, upon close inspection, it's a giant glittering Christmas bauble. The force completed the post with some festive emojis and a photograph of the decoration.
Rob, when you do the episode title this week, I don't know if there's some way you can incorporate giant Christmas. What was it? Giant glittering Christmas bauble. But there's something about those words put together which I really like.
Yeah, I get that. No, I get that. The discovery in Wapping was met with relief and festive cheer as Twitter users joked, I bet they thought all their Christmases had come at once. It comes less than a week after an unexploded World War II bomb was discovered in Kingston upon Thames, southwest London. Students from Kingston University campus and nearly 1,500 homes had to be evacuated while a specialist team disposed of the device.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it can do a lot of damage. A controlled explosion was carried out by armed forces, bomb experts, but residents complained that the supervised blast had caused damage to their houses.
Sorry, Rob, that cannot be the end. Where did the giant Christmas fucking bauble come from?
It came from Wapping.
No, but where? It's a giant one.
I don't know.
Oh, come on. We're going to have to do some research. What was it? Giant Christmas bauble?
Yeah, giant Christmas, maybe giant glittering Christmas bauble?
Bomb.
I would say that there's no comments on the Evening Standard article, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. That's clearly a Christmas bauble. Okay. You're right. Now I know that's what it is. It's clearly that's what it is. But I can see that I could think that was a bomb, a very rusted sort of bomb.
If you Google World War II mine, they've got a name for them. I can't think of what it is. World War II sea mine, maybe.
Let's go to BBC News. I wonder how they realised it was an oversized festive feature. Or do you know what I mean? At what point did they realise, and how did they realise?
I suspect that once you got close to it and saw the little metal crown where you attach it to whatever tree it was hanging on, I think that's probably the giveaway.
But that's going to be a fucking big tree, right? I'm looking at the Twitter account right now of Tower Hamlets Police, Rob, when they tweeted this. Heather Lloyd says, "Hang on, we're missing something here. Whose Christmas tree has who has a Christmas tree that is this huge?" Tarded Lives Matter says, "Hope the investigation wraps up soon." Christmas-related pun there. Dawn says, "Blooming hell! If that's the bauble, how big's the tree that goes with it?" Which is we're getting into sort of slight innuendo here now, Rob. I believe.
I don't think she meant it as that, but
no,
yeah.
Dave says a whopping great bauble, which I like.
Yeah.
And sorry, Rob, I have to say this one. Hearts of Snowdonia simply says, "Has Pat Butcher lost her earring?"
Very nice.
Yeah, you were going to say something,
Alex. If you Google naval mine.
You're really determined, aren't you, Rob? For me to say, you're so happy, right? This is the kind of thing that interests you, right? Naval mine. All right, Rob, I'm doing it. We're not looking at trains afterwards, though. Whoa, I see what you mean. Wow, that is so similar. But a naval mine has the spikes that come off it.
It does, yeah. But I mean, to a layman, not an expert
it's
like
not
myself.
It's not that dissimilar.
You can imagine why someone might be freaked out if they saw that on the shoreline.
I'm impressed, Rob. I'm impressed by your knowledge of such things here.
Thank you.
Well, on that tedious note, but vaguely interesting note, we bring this episode of Local Anesthetic to a close, Rob. Thank you, Kaiba, for that story again. And we look forward with a mixture of eager anticipation yet trepidation to our next episode, which will be episode 277, sorry. As we, Rob, move ever more forward, like a man waking up in the morning, very early on a winter's morning, getting up to use the toilet, only to discover, and I'm sure you've been through this, Rob, like he really needs a piss, but then he feels incredibly disappointed and frustrated when he finds he's got a raging erection, because that's going to make that very difficult. Just like that, we move ever more forward to our next episode, which will be episode 277. And of course, we can be found on our website, which is lapodcast.net. From there, you can download all of our previous episodes. There is a donate button in the top right-hand corner, I think it is, that site. So if you want to kind of leave us a tip or a one-time donation or a rolling donation, just to show your appreciation for this podcast, it's optional. You don't have to do it, but we'd appreciate it if you did, wouldn't we, Rob?
Absolutely.
And we can be found on all the podcast apps. Just search for Local Anesthetic, or easier, lapodcast.net. We're on YouTube. So over the last few weeks, every new episode is now being auto-uploaded onto YouTube, isn't it, Rob? So it will be there if you like to listen to things that way.
It is, and also just to say as well, I've actually added to some American websites. So we're now on radio.com, and we're also on iHeartRadio. So hopefully that may pull in some oh, wow. Well, yeah, so it should be good.
Nice one, Rob. And we're also on Spotify, those kind of mediums. And of course, we are on Facebook, facebook.com/LA Podcast. That's where Rob kind of updates the listeners on what's going on, stuff like that. Twitter as well, @LA Podcast. So check all those platforms out. Now, Rob, just because people often ask us, as we've been saying, local anaesthetic, it's a difficult word to spell, that word anaesthetic. And so we're going to spell it for the listeners now, Rob, according to a theme. Did we get any themes submitted this week?
We haven't had any themes, but I've had an idea, but it may be a bit of a challenge.
Go on.
So we have to name cities of the world. Well, basically that, yeah, cities of the world.
I don't think that's a challenge, is it? Let's see.
But I was going to say, excluding the UK.
Cities of the world.
Cities of the world.
Well, I could really struggle. And okay, let me kick us off then. So you spell anaesthetic in the following way: Austin,
New York,
Atlanta.
I said cities of the UK, didn't I? Oh fuck! I've done myself here. Come on. It's not really a city anymore. Ephesus. It's a ruined city that was.
Nah.
Okay. E. Can you think of any E's?
Well, I'm cheating to help you.
Edinburgh.
There are. Okay. You want one? El Paso.
Yeah. Oh, okay. El Paso. Yeah.
My turn. Sydney.
T. Why am I so bad at this, Alex?
I don't know. I thought you'd be really good at this.
Yeah, I thought I was as well, but I think it's been a long day. T.
Can I give you one?
T. Go on.
Tokyo.
Oh fucking hell! Yes, of course.
Isn't there a Hamburg?
Hamburg, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. You've got E again. You've got E again, my friend.
Fuck it. I'm just going to go with Edinburgh. That'll do.
No, Rob. None
in
the UK. No.
Ecuador? Is that a city or is that a country?
No, you can't have that. You can have Edmonton in Alberta, Canada. Edmonton.
Okay, right. Lovely.
We're really not doing very well at this. It's me now with another T. I swear we used to be better at this. Sorry, T.
Toronto.
Thank you, Toronto. Rob, you're off with I now.
Istanbul.
And... and...
That's right, Alex. Canberra, yes.
Copenhagen.
In Australia. Oh, there we go. Right.
Yeah, I think we need to give this up. No, I want to do it, but listeners, just somebody, for the fuck's sake, submit us a theme. Can you do a post out on Twitter? Can you or Facebook? Get somebody to do it. Do it that way, Rob.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Okay, well, I'm tired now. I'm exhausted. But thank you for listening, everybody. We will be back next week with more local anaesthetic. God bless.
And keep it local.